Good morning or afternoon or whatever time you are in dual credit. I am Miss Elander and I am one of the dual credit teachers at Round Rock High School this year. For this class day, I'm going to walk you through how dual credit English is different than other English classes you've taken at Round Rock High School. The main reason is ACC is the body or governing activity body of this program. So instead of Round Rock High School and Round Rock ISD standards, we have different standards with Austin Community College. So I'm going to go over those differences and what they actually mean to you as a student in a dual credit class. If you are not my student, don't worry. This overview will cover all of the dual credit classes at Round Rock High School. So if you have Miss Ashton or Mrs. Sparza, know that this still works for their classes as well. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to talk about the class norms and expectations for a dual credit student. My presentation will be loading. Ta-da. As we get in here, what is dual credit? Basically, it is a Round Rock ISD classroom that has been given the privilege of having an ACC course in it. So this is an Austin Community College class. You are getting full credit as an Austin Community College student. I and the other teachers are Austin Community College professors. Unlike AP or any other kind of class in this school, we do not have to follow the same standards set by the district. So standards like what is the grading policy, how to deal with behavior, how often we have to communicate and meet, those are different than what you have been set in your other classes. So for example, your Round Rock High School ACC teachers, so for this class for dual credit, I do not turn in grades to Home Access Center. Our grades are housed completely within ACC, which also means you will not have a 6 weeks grade, or in this case, 9 weeks. Now, we will have grades by only the semester. That doesn't mean you won't know what your grade is. Your grades will be posted on Blackboard or wherever your professor decides to post their grades, but they will not be posted in Home Access. Your grades are going to be following the syllabus as well, meaning I'm not going to have 2 test grades and 5 daily grades each semester, or each 6 weeks, forgive me. Instead, we are going to have 5 major grades that are each a paper, and then 20% of your grade will just be your classwork. That classwork is not going to be set up right off the bat either. So most of your teachers will take the classwork as a percentage, or they may decide which class assignments are grades and which aren't towards daily work. All that will be at the discretion of your professor. On top of that, your classes aren't going to look exactly alike. So Miss Ashton, Mrs. Sparza, and me, Miss Elander, may decide to do different things in our classes. That's okay. We are not going to teach the exact same things like you would in any other Round Rock High School class. Another main difference is that a professor will not be given the ability to talk to your parents or guardians. So if you have a parent or guardian who checks in your Home Access, who helps you stay on track, you have the responsibility yourself to share your information with them about our class. I cannot email out your parents or guardians. They cannot talk to me about your private information, such as your grades and your attendance in this class. So that responsibility will lie on you. That doesn't mean that you cannot talk about your grades to your parents or guardians, that you cannot share your passwords with them, but from my end and your other professors' ends, we will not share information about this class with your parents or guardians at all. Not just because we're being mean, but because it violates the FERPA law, the federal law regarding privacy acts for college students. All right. Next, on the slideshow, it just gives you a big breakdown of it. To reiterate, no parent-professor communication, no weekly grades, daily grades, or any grades on Home Access or Schoology. And we will have a non-traditional grading system, meaning your grade will go through the whole semester and there'll be a specific breakdown of your papers based on that. So what is FERPA? Like I said, it's a federal law. It's a Family Education Right and Privacy Act of 1974 that protects college students from sharing information with their parents or guardians. It doesn't mean you can't share information. It means your professors can't. All of the specifics of our class will be housed in the class syllabus too. Remember, your syllabus is your contract with your professor of what your expectations and guidelines are for the year. It is important that you know where it is and keep it safe. For most of you, it's on Schoology or Blackboard from your professor, but know where to find it and refer back to it so you can do the breakdown of your grades, know your missing work policies, and everything together. There's also a link on this PowerPoint to the syllabus. All right, our grading policy. Like I said, our grading policy is different than high school. And a lot of students really like this because instead of the grade point average, which is based off the exact grade point of your class, it's going to be broken down by GPA for college. In colleges, they don't break down anything below a 4, 3, 2, or 1. So basically, what that means is we are not going to break down a 94 or a 98. Both a 94 and a 98 will get a 4.0 on their college transcripts, which is really nice. But that also means if you get a 79, that's still a C, even if an 80 is a B. There's no difference in your GPA. So to follow that format, we write our papers usually in that same range. Sometimes we'll take off extra points just to show you where you're at, but for the most part, we have papers through A+ through F. An A range fulfills the objectives and the assignment of the assignment and is relatively free of grammatical, spelling, and punctuation errors. Accepted papers show mastery of writing skills of previous papers in the course. While this is a very general outline, when we actually give the paper assignments, there will be very specific expectations for you to meet. The cool thing about this course is you can revise every single paper you have to an A. Yes, you heard that right. You can always revise. If you choose to get less than an A in the class, that is because you chose to not revise and edit your papers. Your teacher's goal is to teach you how to be a good writer in this class. This is a composition course or a writing course. So every paper you have, you will have the opportunity to see your mistakes and turn in an edited version of it. This is a great thing because it's teaching you how to fix your mistakes and not make them for the next papers. The one caveat to this is if you do not turn in your paper on time, you cannot get those points back. So if I turn in a paper late and it's 10 points off per day, I can't get those points back. So if I got a C, I'm gonna have 10 points taken off from that grade. So then I have a D. I might have a 70 and it'll be a 60. However, I can make up that paper to an A, but the highest grade will always be 10 points below that original grade. The missing work policy for that, or for papers, is every day late, and that means calendar day, not block schedule day, weekends count, is 10 points off. That could really get you in a bind. If you're 5 days late, you fail the paper regardless. You can't get those points back. And this isn't like a regular high school class where you can make that up to a 70. If it's a 50, it stays at a 50. There are no way to make those grades back. So it's really important that you turn things in on time. For our class, our required materials are going to be really straightforward. For this semester, you pretty much just need a computer of some sort and maybe a pen or pencil and highlighter. Those would be for our readings. So we will post any readings we have for the class online in our Schoology classroom. Some people like to read on paper. That's wonderful. I like to read that way too. If you have a printer, you can print the readings and highlight, annotate everything you need on the paper. However, if you don't have a printer, it's not a big deal. You can do everything on the Chromebook. You'll just be reading a lot more on the computer than you probably used to. We will use these programs in class. They're programs you probably are already familiar with. So Schoology, thankfully your professors for ACC have already used Schoology. We're very familiar with it, so it should be a really easy transition. We will use ACC Library's website often. We will use No Red Ink only for excessive help. We're not going to make you do it every single day. And then all of our papers will be turned in through Turnitin to make sure you have a plagiarism checker. Be smart about that. Don't be the student who turns in someone else's paper on turn it in, because it will flag and highlight it, and that is the reaction to that is immediate removal from a dual credit class for plagiarism. All right, that is the grand overview of dual credit. If you also want to look at your syllabus, there's a breakdown of the grading policy itself. I will go through that just really quickly for you. But besides that, everything else is in your syllabus. If you have questions or need something else answered, please email or talk to your professor. They want to help you. We want to make sure this runs smoothly for you and you know exactly what is expected of you. Lastly, on here, we come to our grading breakdown. That's the last thing I'll show you today. A grading system is our papers. So we have 5 papers in the class. This will be full-length papers. Don't panic by that. We will break down what all that means when we get to them. But they're graded at percentage time. So this is your entire semester grades. Will be 10% for paper 1, 15% for paper 2, 3 and 4, and then 25% for paper 5. Paper 5 is longer because it is our full-length research paper. And then 20% of your classwork is towards your overall grade. My one recommendation to you as a professor who has taught this class many times before, the grade for your classwork, although it's only 20% of your grade, doesn't seem that important, almost always directly correlates with the overall grade for the class. Last year I did a study of this. I pulled all of my data. Students who did less than 80% of the work got almost the exact same grade on every one of their papers. So if I have a 90% average for this classwork category, I probably finished the class with an A. If I finished the class with a 20 classwork average, I probably failed the course. That's not because this is that heavy of a weight, but if you're only doing 20% of your classwork, you're not going to be able to write your papers and do the other assignments. So keep that in mind, that this classwork is not a joke, even if it's only a 1/5 of your grade. Again, I'm Miss Elander. If you have any questions, you're welcome to email me, Lauren_Elander@roundarkic.org, or ask your professors directly. If there's something that differs with my instructions with your professors, please listen to your professor's instructions. They're probably catered to your class more clearly than mine are. Have a wonderful day. And if you need anything, reach out to us. We want to help you.